All right, we are rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Creative Businessmen. Today we have Bradley Tuggle on the show with us. He's a celebrity hairstylist. Bradley, you want to tell everyone about you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, I'm happy to be here. This is an amazing setup. I've been kind of like, wow, this is the coolest podcast I've seen going on in a long time. So
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys for having me. As you were saying, my name's Bradley Tuggle. I'm based here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Do a few celebrities here and there, so I guess that's the title you can put on it, celebrity hairstylist. But work for QVC, HSN. I own my own salon here in Jamestown, which is basically a right off Wendover Avenue. So it's a Jamestown address, but it's still basically Greensboro. So I've had that salon for 3 years now, and just been doing hair for a long time. I'm a platform artist, which I do a lot of hair shows and travel around and do big conventions for Chi Hair Care, which is a manufacturer that makes hairsprays, they make flat irons, they make so many different, any hair product that the lady or the gentleman needs, they can take care of your needs.
Cool.
So
They're a huge company too. So.
huge company,
Yeah.
Huge company. We're probably the second biggest global hair care company in the world.
Wow.
And we've switched all our manufacturing over here recently to make hand sanitizer, so they quit making shampoos and conditioners for the time being, to make hand sanitizer to, kind of battle the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on.
Yeah. So I knew that would come up anyway. As an entrepreneur, how has that affected your business?
I've been pretty smart with my money throughout the years, so I hadn't really been in too bad of a situation. Because I bought my building, so I didn't really have a loan or lease. I didn't have a loan or lease to pay on it, so that's gave me a lot of breathing room. I would hate to have been in a situation where I didn't have that, because I think it would have been very tough. Because it took so long for people to get loans and get the PPP loan. And
They got it.
If they got it, and it was a lot of lots of. Seemed like nothing was really that organized. Kind of like going to the DMV and expecting to get something that day.
Get quick service.
Right. It's like I mean, everything. I was just like, this is going to be a mess. It's going to be a nightmare. But me plus a lot of my stylists a lot of stylists I work with in the salon, they've been pretty reasonable and smart with their money too. So I don't think anybody was in a dire situation where we were gasping for air. And I'm very fortunate to be in that situation.
That's great.
So I was like, if I could just, I dipped into my savings a little bit more than I wanted to, but
yeah,
I'm glad to be back at work.
That's why you had it though, right?
Yeah, exactly. We started back Friday at 5,
Nice.
and within, I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Within 3 days, I was like, okay, I'm caught back up. I'm good.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something the other day, though, based on what you were just saying. There's this, I don't know if it's the rule of zero, but if you think about this, whatever your baseline is, however you survive this pandemic, this crisis, if you survive, and let's say the average person lost 35, 45, 50%, or they lost 100% of everything they had and you didn't, in theory, you've outperformed the economy.
Yeah.
And like you just said, it took you a weekend to catch up. So, I mean, you survived it really, really well. So
Yeah, there was a point in time where I was like, okay, I'm starting to sweat this a little bit because we weren't able to go to work at all.
Yeah.
And then my bills at home just kept coming out. I was like, okay,
yeah,
I'm cool, but like I'm not, I got to get back to work.
Yeah. That makes
But
sense.
I mean, all in all, is I've always tried to financially keep myself that if the shit hits the fan, I can go to McDonald's and work, and I can still maintain my lifestyle and be able to take care of my family and kids.
That's good. Yeah.
And that's if the bottom falls out.
We've kind of had the same type of policy, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see why people don't do that more often because
Some people can't, But.
Yeah, but I don't know. Everybody's got the same 24 hours within the day. Get
I
out there
agree
and
with
hustle, man.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You got to get out there and get it.
Yeah. I mean,
Right, yeah.
Some people aren't willing to make the sacrifice to do it.
Right.
And some people come from different situations and circumstances where maybe they don't have the mentality to do that.
Right.
Which
right.
is
100%.
Luckily, we live in the technology age, man. Hopefully, if not now, soon, everybody's going to have access to internet.
Yeah.
And YouTube is a wonderful thing. They can start educating themselves.
If you live in the United States, you've got to have access to internet.
Man. You got to.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I've seen my business, especially like doing hair shows and stuff. That whole business is taking a whole different lead where our hair shows are starting to decline because so many people are getting on social media more.
Yeah.
And the companies can say, okay, well, this person just we could put this person out here as much as possible, and they can educate for a cheaper price than what we're sending all these people out to do these hair shows for. So it's had an effect on everything.
Right.
Interesting.
But I miss the old school. Like, I miss that interaction of being at a hair show because there's nothing more that's that live education to me, and that whole being around people means a lot. So, and I think this pandemic will help it pick back up too, though.
Yeah.
Which I think will be good because people are going to want to get back out.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like our generation is like the last generation of the analogous people.
Totally. There's no doubt about that.
Like we saw the digital age come in, and you have to experience that change.
I'm glad I'm at the age I'm at because I can see both sides of it. I see this mentality, and then I see the new mentality. And I like to dabble in the new mentality a little bit, but I'm not going to go all in on that one because I don't feel like it's as the way we grew up.
It's a little more alien.
Yeah. We're like, let's work. But if you add this into that, man, you could be on fire.
That's right. Yeah, we're Gen X, and I think we're the best generation.
No doubt. Look,
no bias here.
Look, when I listen to anything old, like if I listen to any of the new music, like rap music, I'm like, God, this sucks.
Yeah,
and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's getting old. I watch new wrestling. I'm like, this is not nearly as good as the NWO and the old school stuff, you know?
That's funny.
So I definitely am getting to that point where I'm like, okay, I'm talking like an old person now.
Yeah, just like our parents.
Oh, speaking about rap, though, we're going to segue real quick. Did you watch 69 Gooba, whatever, G-O-B-A? You didn't watch this after he got out of prison and releases hits, breaks the Instagram.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
He broke the Instagram record for live views, I think like 2 million views, and then live views.
I saw he was talking about Snoop Dogg or something.
Yeah, and then he hit he's at, I don't know, he was averaging like, I can't remember, like 30 million views a day on YouTube.
Insane.
It was stupid.
That's crazy.
Yeah. A snitch breaks records. I was like, oh God.
But that's what it's come to is like, it's such cheap entertainment. And it's like, dude, this is like such mindless, stupid entertainment at this point. But that's what's getting you hits.
That's true.
And that's what's getting the social media thing go crazy. I see the like social media influencers in our industry, and it's like 1 week they're talking about hair, the next week they're dancing, the next week th're doing that. I was like, I don't care I'm not doing that shit.
I guess
You're not gonna see me dancing on TikTok.
I guess people are attracted to that because there's nothing there. Like it's not using up any bandwidth or anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's mindless, like you said.
It's completely mindless. And that's one good thing. I'm trying to look at this COVID-19 as a positive thing. Is that for some reason I feel like it happened because we need to get away from that a little bit, and we need to get away from the whole.
Things have gotten so easy.
It's gotten so easy, and companies are like sell. You didn't sell as much as you did last year. This year you did this. I think it needed to come back down and everybody just chill for a minute and hit the reset button, which I hope that's how things play off. But after the newness wears off of something, it goes right back to normal.
Yeah. You're right about the marketing thing. It's like we're all foam targets for the marketing arrows.
Yeah. And then the thing that really irritated me about it is like every company that was putting commercials out, AT&T, Dish Network, DirecTV, there was this fucking violin playing in the background about how they're going to do all this wonderful stuff for everybody. Every time I called and said, hey, man, I got to get a break, they were like, no, you can't, but we can furlough. I was like, well, your commercial didn't seem like that. Your commercial seemed like you're going to help me out.
Yeah.
So every time I called, I would say that to them. They were like, no, we can furlough your payment for, towards it. I was like, well, I still got to pay it. Yeah. That's not really helping me out. So instead of me paying $100 this month, in 3 months I got to pay $400.
Yeah,
that's gonna kick me in the nuts worse than this 100 is. Yeah. So I don't know. I think this whole thing's just. Hopefully we get back to normal soon.
Hope so. Yeah.
The mask thing's driving me crazy.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we're having to work with them. Past 3 days we had to work with the mask on.
And that's dangerous too. You're breathing in your own carbon dioxide.
And
too.
We're, like in any break you get, you go outside and you kind of pulling that mask down. But doing a full-blown color where someone has thick hair and doing a lot, it's like, you get into projects. It was a lot, man. I was like, man, I can't breathe in this thing.
Yeah, I kind of understand the mask thing though. Just because the data shows that it does if both people are wearing them, it helps.
Somebody.
You help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like you wearing a mask may not necessarily help you as much from them, but if you both are, then it helps you both.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see how it can't. I mean, if you're covered up in a certain,
Oh, it
I
does.
just feel the more you're covered up with anything, the better it's going to be.
Even like the cotton homemade masks
Yeah.
are like 70% coverage,
Oh, really?
and if both people have them, then you're good.
You're pretty much golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the government overreach though. I agree with the safety side, but here,
I look at
like,
both sides of
not
it
wearing
too,
a condom during sex can spread stuff, right? Right? But the government's not forcing me to wear one.
Right.
But I think once you're going into a public setting, that's the difference. You know, like
Yeah.
it's
We're
kinda
both
like,
choosing to be in the same room though.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. You know, if you're going to like a grocery store or something, though,
Yeah.
it's not.
He's talking about in the bedroom.
I'm talking about
That's different. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, like I'm coming to the
Like
salon.
we're in this room together. Because
Yeah.
we all want to be in this room. We don't want to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that, but it's like if you choose into a sexual relationship, you enter into one with somebody, right? You know that there's a potential consequence, and you can take safety measures. If we choose to enter into this relationship together, or we enter this room together, there's consequences, and we can choose to take safety measures.
Yeah.
Same thing with Publix and grocery stores. So for me, it's like enter at your own risk, right? Like I get in an airplane and go skydiving, there's a chance I'm going to die.
Yeah.
You know, but I prepare for that and I accept those risks. So if you're 82 years old, the national death average for somebody with COVID above the national life expectancy, you should probably stay at home.
Yeah.
Well, I think just based on our Constitution too is you're allowed to. You should be allowed. I think you should be allowed to do whatever you want to do as long as you're not affecting someone else's rights.
Right.
But as soon as
them.
as soon as your actions start to affect someone else, that's when there's a line there somewhere. And I think if you go into a public place like a grocery store, that's why you don't smoke in the grocery store.
Yeah, I agree
because
with that.
if you're smoking and I don't smoke, you're affecting my rights.
Right.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
So it's the same type of thing.
Yeah, and that's a great analogy.
That is a
Honestly,
good
when you think, when you
And that's
think-
something we
they need
remember.
to-
That
They need
used
to
to-
start getting that out there.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I like that.
It used to be a thing when we were kids. And you go to
Yeah.
the mall and people would be smoking.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
It's so strange.
Everywhere.
Airplanes.
Airplanes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I couldn't imagine sitting on an airplane with somebody smoking a cigarette. Plus, I'd be freaked out that they'd catch the airplane on fire. Not only that, I wouldn't want to breathe because I have trouble breathing on an airplane as is, just from the recycled air.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And as much as I travel, I'm like, man, I mean, I always get somewhat sick after I travel 2-3 weekends in a row. I'm like, I am beat up right now.
Well, it's not good for you anyway.
Yeah.
Even just the radiation you get from
Yeah.
flying is.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully we'll get back to normal. But just like in my salon, we're all wearing masks, and we're asking clients. We're not requiring, but we're kind of heavily saying wear your mask.
Right.
Because if one of these ladies comes in and she's elderly, right, and she just has been dying to get her hair done, she needs her gray covered, she needs it styled. I'm trying to think about her
That's
more
true.
than anything else, and making her, when she comes into that atmosphere, feel comfortable. Where she's like, okay, if these guys don't have it on, then they're not really taking precautions.
Right.
And that's all I'm concerned about. Like, as far as taking care of my kids and all that, I definitely want to keep myself safe. But I want every client that comes in there to feel comfortable. And if it's the one guy that feels like his rights are infringed on, I'm like, dude, just throw the mask on for 20 minutes. Come on, brother.
Oh no. If the rule is you got to wear the mask, like okay, I just scheduled. I had massages scheduled for 3 months,
Yeah,
2 months. I'm not gonna name them the spot because I don't put them on blast. Because 99% of the time they do an awesome job. I've been going there for years.
yeah,
But anyway, they kept rescheduling based on delays in opening, which is fine, right? Well, so they called me the other day, hey, we're open. Great, I've got a standing appointment, right? So,
Yeah.
well, there's some rule changes we need to discuss. Okay, well, what you got, right? One of them was they were going to charge me extra. They wanted me to prepay, which I've been going there for years. I'm like, that's fine.
right.
They want to charge me an extra fee, $25 extra because they want to charge me a cleaning fee. And I'm like,
That
wait a
gets
second.
too much, man.
You already got to clean
Hopefully they clean anyway.
you got to clean
Right.
anyway, right?
Right.
I mean, like, this is I'm naked on a table. Surely you've already cleaned that table.
Hopefully.
And after I get done, my
Right.
big ass, I know you're cleaning that table, right? So wait a second, I don't get that. But I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Okay, what's next? Well, the shower room is closed. The locker room is closed. You got to change in the room. We're doing the thing. Okay, what else? Well, the Zen den is closed. I'm like, what the hell? And then the last one. Here's the one that got me. You have to wear a mask during the entire time. I'm like, there's no way I can wear a mask during a 90-minute deep tissue massage,
Yeah.
face down on a table. I can barely breathe anyway.
Right.
I'm like, hey, I get it. I respect the rules.
Totally.
I can't come because of that.
Yeah.
As soon as that rule's gone, I'll come.
Totally.
It's like if I was coming to your hair salon. You said, hey, man, you got to wear a mask. Hey, dude, I get it. You got to do what you got to do. I can't do that. Let me know when that rule's gone. And, it's a...
But and that's good. I mean, if somebody's like, let me know when the rule's done,
Yeah.
that's a different story. But if someone comes in there and is like, no, man,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't want to argue with you.
No, I agree,
I don't want to
yeah.
argue with you over politics or anything like that.
Yeah.
But just
That's true. Be respectful of other people.
Be respectful to this lady right here. That's it. I mean,
Right.
And half the time, like, she just wants her hair done at the end of the day.
That's true.
Let her cover her roots, or I'll come in and do your hair at 9 o'clock at night once we're closed if your rights are infringed on that much.
Right,
I have no problem with that. I get it, because I see both sides of the whole.
Oh,
And I think that's the problem is nobody looks at both sides of anything anymore. It's either like, I watch Fox News and this is law. I watch CNN and this is law.
I agree with you
And
on
it's
that.
like, bam.
And it's
I mean,
tribal.
Yeah,
People
it
are
is,
really
man.
tribal.
It's
They pick
crazy.
teams and
Yeah.
sides, and
It's crazy.
they want to cancel each other.
And I know which side I'm for. I'm always for. I'm always going to look more on the Republican side because I own a business, and I feel like that's just how I operate. But I totally see so many
I agree.
ways the Democratic side see. It's just
Yeah.
I'm going to look out for my pocketbook at the end of the day. I always have.
I think you're right. You got to be able to look at everything and go and make your own mind up about things
Right.
based on what your life experience is, not whether it's Democrat or Republican.
Because this channel is going to tell you this, and
Yep.
this channel is going to tell you
the
that.
two-party system's garbage.
It's
anyway.
ridiculous,
Yeah,
man. And
yeah.
it's gotten so extreme where it's like, okay, you're all of a sudden going to bash this guy for supposedly doing something 30 years ago. Now this guy over here does it, and you're not going to say nothing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, do it both ways.
I agree. Yeah. Hey,
Or
both
just
of
don't do it all. It's 30
Yeah.
years ago. Then
Yeah.
just
I agree
Right.
with
just
that.
leave it alone.
Or just don't do it at all, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
let them do whatever. You don't have to report something somebody did 30 years ago.
if
Well,
you're saying a politician's sleazy, then hey,
Yeah, I mean,
they
you
all
know,
are.
You're just stating the obvious, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
It's
right.
just like, man, this is crazy to even watch because you never go over here and you never go over here and say anything.
Yeah.
Say something positive on occasion
I
just
agree.
so I believe you.
I think
agree.
people should be more objective with information.
Yeah.
People they don't want to look up anything on their own. They just believe the first thing that hits them. And usually, a lot of people try to stay in their own echo chambers too. Like they'll try to look up news that kind of fits their ideologies, their narratives.
Yeah.
And it's a problem because I like to hear people that have different points of view, just so I can have a better point of view myself. And also, I like to read facts. I like to do my own research.
And let me make the
find
educated decision about
make my
what's
decisions
up.
because, like for me, I'm more fiscally conservative about things, but I'm also more liberal when it comes to social issues.
Mm-hmm.
And
And there has to be an in between somewhere.
yeah, and politically, I'm an independent.
Yeah.
Because I can't just say I'm on this team and everything that this team does
Right.
is my. We're all supposed to be the same team. We're all supposed
Right.
to be a community of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just it's crazy. Like I feel like the media and politicians are constantly trying to divide the people. And
They want us to fight, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if we're all fighting, we can't pay attention to what's important.
You know what's crazy is like the more stuff I watch things like that, I'm like, you know what? On a personal level, I don't have these type of issues with people.
Most people don't.
That's whatever.
Yeah.
This is you guys making all this up because when I deal with any other race or any other type of person or anything else, I get along with everybody pretty good unless they're just
Yeah.
an asshole that I don't like.
Right.
I mean, I've had just as many issues with any type of person
Yeah.
in business or whatever than people that it's just like forced to be against each other. I don't believe the hype at all. I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah, and even if you don't agree with someone, you don't have to be
Yeah.
angry at them or
Who
hate them.
cares? Yeah.
You just disagree.
I like having disagreements and,
And-
being like, okay, cool, brother, that was cool. We talked about it. It's cool. I
Right.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And if you have a good conversation with someone, even if they have a different perspective,
Yeah.
you get something out of that. You know what I mean? You have some stuff to think about. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those seeds have been planted both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually that creates some type of balance.
And it might hit you, 2 weeks later on down the road saying, you know what?
Yeah.
Damn, she was right.
Yeah. Well, that was a good point.
I have
Yeah.
a little bit more heart towards this
That's
person right now.
That's right.
Me and my wife are totally opposite. Like when it comes to politics, we cancel each other's vote out every single time. Every single time. So I was like, why don't we both just stay home? Like last time I was like, you stay home, I'll stay home.
Yeah.
I was going to try to do it and then me go vote.
There's no good options right now anyway.
Up.
I've got a bit right now about how we've got two 70-year-olds running to be the leader of the free world.
And both of them stick their mouth.
One's a psychopath jacked up on Sudafed, and the other one doesn't know where the fuck he's at.
Yeah, that's what I think is funny. Is like I've never seen. I mean, and they both stick their foot in their mouth every chance.
Oh man,
Oh, they're crazy people, man.
I think Trump is more aware that he's sticking his foot in his mouth. He just doesn't care.
He just doesn't care.
Yeah,
I think, and again, not to, it's not. I'm not for one or the other in this conversation, but Biden just seems like early onset dementia. I feel bad for the
Something's
guy.
wrong, yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
Because I generally feel like he's a good dude.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
like,
just like, and he has to follow what they're telling him to follow and say what they're telling him to say, and then he goes off on something.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, whoa.
He
Like-
forgets where he's at.
It's like,
Is that what
this
I was
dude's a
saying?
trip.
like this whole thing making its round right now. I think it was you ain't black if you ain't voting for me or something.
when
like
he was
that.
talking to Charlemagne the
Yeah,
God.
yeah. And now, I've got friends I agree. I don't know that I would say that to a friend that I've known since I was 10.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe in that capacity, if I had a relationship with him and I'm like joking in jest, like,
Yeah.
like, oh man, you're not black if you're not voting Democrat, right? Like, I get where he was trying to go with it, maybe, but
Yeah.
that was definitely not the platform, definitely not the place to do it. I don't think he meant to have that impact.
yeah.
But at the same point, I'm sitting here going, this motherfucker's stupid. I can't believe he just said
Yeah, I was like, that's why I looked at that. I was like, I don't think that was
No,
Well, he does that a lot, though.
Yeah.
He'll have a thought, and he tries to express that thought, and then in the middle of the thought, it just goes away. Like,
Yeah.
He's like he forgets what he's saying,
Yeah.
and then he just goes somewhere else with it.
Yeah, I saw where he said he's going to defeat Joe Biden. I was like,
Yeah.
pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
Hey, we're our own worst enemy, man. If I can't beat me, no one
I was
can.
told, I'm going to defeat Bradley Tuggle at what he did last week.
I think it's weird that we have 70-year-olds running for president. Like, they're so disconnected from us. Like,
Yeah.
our generation is really the majority of people producing right now.
Yeah.
And those people don't represent us. They don't
Yeah.
represent our thoughts and our ideas.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed that people, somebody like Tulsi Gabbard couldn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Somebody that's our age, that's reasonable, rational, not part of the system.
I mean, I definitely lean more towards Trump on a lot of things, and I understand why people hate Trump. I understand the hatred there because, I mean, people absolutely – he wakes up and pisses people off.
Yeah.
And I get that side of him, but in some way I kind of like that because he just says, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care whether you like it or not. But then again, I'm like, he could be a little bit more like chill about it.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean,
he goes all in. I'm like, dude, this guy's
It's so weird
hilarious.
that he's even the president because he's an entertainer. He was a reality TV guy,
Yeah.
and a real big real estate mogul. But I mean, he's literally a professional TV personality.
Yeah.
And
He's like watching the WWE.
and I don't think he planned on winning the presidency.
You know?
I think it was kind of a joke to him. It was like a self promotion type deal, and he ended up winning.
Yeah.
But I think that
it's-
says that people are just fed up with politics. I think that's a big.
I think
That's what that means.
I think that's a lot of what it is.
Yeah.
Totally. And I had a situation where when they were doing the COVID-19 thing and Roy Cooper was keeping everything shut down, and especially the hairstylists were like, let's go, some of these out. I had a lady call me, and she was like, listen, we're going to plan a thing. We're going to go to the Capitol building or in Raleigh, or is it the Capitol in Raleigh? Is that the
Yeah,
Capitol
yeah.
building in Raleigh? Or go to the steps of his office, and we're going to do haircuts. And that's like, okay, you got to give me more information than this because I'm not just going to agree to it until I know the whole story behind it.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And, I was like, oh, so are people going to be behind us holding up signs? Because if they are, I don't want a part of that.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm not going to be on this team or that team. And then a little bit further down the line, she was like, well, would you cut Roy Cooper's hair if he asked? I said, yeah, I would. She was like, even during this, if he's not letting your industry do hair. I said, yeah, I would, because the 20 minutes that I cut his hair, I would use that 20 minutes to preach on our behalf and push on our behalf to get us back open.
Yeah.
And tell him, have a legitimate conversation with him instead of screaming and arguing with
I like that.
with all this craziness
Yeah,
going on.
yeah,
I said,
it's good.
I could get more out of that 20 minutes. You're going to get out of that whole time
I agree.
of doing your rally and picketing. And I said, and plus, I don't she called him King Cooper. When she called him King Cooper, I said, all right, count me out.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not a Roy Cooper fan, but I'm also like, I'm not going to go on that extreme, because I do think if you could talk to somebody
I agree.
and figure it out, you could
Well,
you could make something happen. Put a suit on,
Yep.
walk in as a professional,
Yep.
and do your thing.
Yeah.
why do countries that were at war come and sit at the table together and talk, right? I think you build those bridges and relationships. Even if you disagree,
Right.
it can be handled a certain way, in a respectful way. I agree with that. You're going to get a lot further. And then, like you said, you're going to have his ear for 20 or 30 minutes. But I don't agree with a lot of the things he does. But then again, my disagreeing with what he does is not like I'm not drawing lines in the sand
No.
going, this is where I'm going to draw the line, and this is where I'm going to fall. My body's going to fall because of it. He's not doing anything like that. But I will tell you, we've got certain businesses and certain industries we consult for, and you know what? His legal team and him have had numerous calls, and I disagree with the steps, where we're at right now, slightly. I think some things should be different, but I understand what he's doing.
Yeah. And I never want to be the like Monday morning quarterback. Okay, after the game's over, we should have done this, we should have done that.
Right.
And I think that's what everybody on Facebook and social media does now, is like
Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah,
It's
like,
hindsight bias.
Of course you should have done that. Of course you should have done this. 'Cause nobody knew what was going on.
We couldn't have
That's
known.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never have like being around that type of person.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, tell me what's happening. Let's figure it out. Let's
Yeah.
chat about it. If me and you have an issue, talk about it for a few minutes. Let's iron it out. Let me see what you were thinking. I'll see what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And we can move on. And I have zero hard feelings after.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about, at the end of the day, you got to forgive people for things that happen. And especially like now, I think so much differently now that I'm in my 40s than I did it. And actions I took when I was 20 and actions I took when I was 30. The 40-year-old Bradley is going to handle things way differently than the 20-year-old.
Absolutely.
And way different than the 30-year-old.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things where you got to be like, okay, look, this is where my mentality was then. I'm sorry it happened. This is where we're at. We're cool.
One thing about this whole COVID situation too that's unfortunate is that we're all in this together. It's affecting us all, and it's also a virus. It's not something that we've ever really had. I guess they've never had a vaccine or anything for this type of a virus anyway. And now that all the data is coming out, the studies are being done, they're showing it's not as lethal as they thought it was. The mortality rate's much lower. I'm not taking away from the seriousness of it for the people that are negatively affected by it in any way.
Yeah.
But we should all, no matter what party you're with or which team you're on, we should all be on the same team with this and say, look, we've got to keep moving forward. Our whole country has got to move forward together and fight this thing together. And we can't just shut everything down forever, because it's not going away. They said we're going to shut things down for a couple of weeks until we flatten the curve. And they come back and we're going to shut down things for a few more weeks, and then a few more weeks. But the curve's flattened. So what are we doing? And the problem is, there's a lot of people that they didn't save like we did. They weren't prepared for this. They're living paycheck to paycheck.
So many people live paycheck to paycheck.
And
That's
there's
scary,
people that
man.
people that maybe the lower incomes are doing okay because the unemployment's decent.
Yeah.
Some of the relief for those people was actually, some people are making more than they were making, but I'd say the majority of people are not.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of middle class people that were paycheck to paycheck, and now they're just like, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose my house or my car. I got to feed my family.
Yeah.
And it's a scary time for those people. And the data shows that it's not going away. Like, there may not be a vaccine. I mean, I think there will be, but it's going to be next year.
Yeah.
We can't keep things shut down until that happens.
No.
And the science, the studies are showing that masks do protect people in public. So I think a month ago we should have said, everybody cover your face, we're going to get back to work, and we're going to fight this thing, and then provided some type of relief for people that are older, for sure, and people that have underlying health conditions that would be more at risk during this. Because I'm not too worried about it personally as far as getting it. I'm worried about getting it and giving it to someone that's susceptible to it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like if I got it, I'd probably be fine because I'm young and healthy.
Yeah.
And I have a good immune system. I work out. I take supplements.
Yeah, you should
You know,
be
take
okay.
care of my body. I'm not too worried about it.
I'm worried about myself because I lay on my couch and eat frozen pizzas.
So you
And
know,
lay
like
on a heating pad every night. I'm worried about it.
yeah, but I'm more worried about the economic impact of this and what's going to happen to people
Dude,
long term. What's going to happen to the economy
Totally.
and how many people are going to die because of that?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean you'll get. People get in depression because I mean, like I said, I went a month. I was good for a month. I was like, okay. After a month, I started feeling myself get to the point where it's like, okay, I feel like I'm starting to go a little bit crazy, just because I don't have a salon. I have no income coming in at all. I lost all the income I make on the road, all the income I make from chair rental, all the income I make behind the chair. So, I mean, I took a hit, and then, you know, every time my wife went to the grocery store, I was like, oh, that's $350 right there. And, you know, it just kept rolling in, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, if I'm at the point where I'm starting to get a little sketched out, there's people a whole lot worse off than me, and I know mentally worse off than me as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but
In some ways.
some ways, yes, some ways no. But I mean, you don't want that effect of it to be worse than the actual disease either.
No,
because
yeah.
I mean that'll put you in a weird state, and if you lose your business, I'm telling you, man, I couldn't
bad
imagine.
place.
That's a horrible place to be. That's a depressive place to be in.
I mean, I've been there before, so I mean, you know, it you know, and when I had big losses before, it was out of my control too. So
Yeah.
I know the feeling. Fortunately, I'm an optimistic person, and I stay positive, and I just power through it. But and Daniel's been there also. But
Yeah, I don't suggest it.
but this is the bad thing about this is like everything, you know, everything could be going great, and all of a sudden it's just stopped.
yeah.
It's just shut down.
So,
all that momentum's gone.
and then we're playing these I'm going to play this hypothetical, but let's say that I lived in a third world country, and it was war-ridden, and there was a chance of death every time I went out to try and earn money, right?
Yeah.
To get food for my family. I'm the guy that's going to go out and get food, and
Yeah.
you got to, right?
For your family, 100%.
For my family,
Yeah.
right? And for me, like even if you're a single guy, hopefully, you know, single lady, you've got to eat, right? You've got to survive. I think that's the key, regardless of the risk.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got dangerously close to people getting in this state of, look, we've got to survive. And I get it. It's easy to be comfortable. It's easy to be a politician still getting full pay. It's easy if you were in a
Haircuts.
position
Yeah. Exactly.
where you're still getting full pay or you're comfortable financially. It's easy to say, oh, we can wait a month, we can wait 6 weeks, we can wait this time. It's not that big a deal. But you look at I would say middle class. You look at these certain classes that it affected terribly, or even small business owners, where they're losing. They're in the process of literally losing everything they've worked for.
Yeah, for 30-some years, and all of a sudden you get the rug pulled out from under you.
Then it's like, okay, I'm going to lose everything I've worked for 30 years, and you're telling me I can't survive, and it's because I could get sick, right?
Yeah.
And like that's kind of where I go, wait a second, like, and I don't want to steal this, but the cure is worse than the cause. If we get real close to that, and that's where I start to go, wait a second, this doesn't make sense, because we kept all of our core members, all of our regional managers, all of our we tried to pay everybody.
Yeah.
All the core. I mean, like we tried to keep everybody's life, and we told them up front, we're like, look, we may not be able to do this forever, but we want to help through this process as much as we can, as for as long as we can. I can't bankrupt myself, and thankfully, like Neil was saying, I went through something, let's say approximately a decade ago, and because I went through that, I was so much more prepared to go through this, right? So, you know, and I think because of what's going on right now, everybody this is affecting, hopefully, is going to be able to get through the next thing that happens, whether it's financial or otherwise.
Because you've been prepared.
Exactly,
Right.
because now they know this is a possibility. As a business person now, I mean, you're a business person. I'm sure you didn't plan for a pandemic. You probably planned for a rainy day or for a problem to arise, right? A shift in the economy, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't plan for a pandemic. Now I know, like, hey man,
this
maybe
could happen again.
Yeah, maybe we need some more essential businesses as part of our portfolio.
Yeah, and that's the thing I've always planned. I've always in the salon business. I know I have a personality. Either people like me a lot or they hate me a lot. So I know I have that personality. It's one or the other. There's really no in between. Like, oh, he's an all right guy. They're like, nah, man, Bradley's a cool dude. Or they're like, he is an asshole. It's one of the two. So I've always planned on, you know what, if my group decides to walk out on me and I'm in there empty, can I still survive? And when I opened this business, that was my game plan. And then when this happened, and fortunately I get along with all the ones in there. Great. Awesome. Amazing. They're the best group I've ever been around. But fortunately, when this happened, and the rent time came up for them to pay rent, I was like, if we can put together $50 a piece to pay the month of what month was it? March, April, the month of April to get to May 1st, we're good. Just give me $50 a piece. We'll pay the electricity. We'll pay this because fortunately I've been smart with my money, and I want to help out as much as I can, but I don't want to eat the whole thing myself.
Yeah.
But if you chip in a little bit, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
awesome.
Just come back. Let's get back going. And once we get back going, we'll figure the rest of it out as we go. We'll get back on track pretty quickly.
Yep, I agree.
Like I said, within 3 days, we're already like, okay, we're back on.
Yeah.
We're back on.
Back.
We're back. We're
That's
back
awesome.
in action, baby.
That's awesome. I know you guys are going to be busy for a while, too.
Oh, it's like the holidays, man, because when people try to call in and get things before Christmas and New Year's and stuff, I mean, we're busy December 1 all the way through up till December 24th, like nonstop. It's already got the signs of that plus.
Wow.
I mean, I've had, and even I think the fact that people haven't had the opportunity to get their hair styled, I've had people I hadn't heard for in a long time just because they can't get it done or like, I want it done. I was like, I ain't heard from you in forever. And now you want I was like, I got to take care of my regular everyday person first. I'll get you when I can get you, but I hear you loud and clear.
That's funny.
So, I mean, and I think that's the whole thing with us, just the whole learning experience of, the losses we have taken in businesses and the L's you take prepares you for stuff. And I look back on stuff that happened to me with a former salon I was at in like 2010, and like my mom passed away that year, and I went through a lot of, I was business partners and we butted heads pretty hard. And in 2010, I was like straight up John Rambo, ready to go crazy. But I look back at that now, and it's like how much good that did me in the long run of just being prepared for all sorts of different situations.
Oh yeah.
Being protected by lawyers, being protected by this, and even with this, somebody was like, "Well, if you go cut hair and this and this and that, your state board's gonna come find you." I said, "I got a lawyer. They can talk. They can talk to the lawyer. I mean, because their state board's not gonna come in and shut me down if I got a lawyer.
Right.
And if they need to do something and they're gonna keep me from making a living, I'll let my lawyer decide that and handle that."
Yeah.
And I look back at that situation in 2010 where it was just like, I was in such a bad place in my life that I was like, all that came out to be good in the long run because it helped me in so many other aspects of it.
Oh yeah.
We learn. Yeah.
100%. And, I still see them in public and I'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" And they still just kind of look at me weird and like, all right,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to. At 40, I don't want that type of beef anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Where at 20, I was ready to go at it. At 40, I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to. If somebody's giving me issues and giving me heat on social media or anything like that, I'm like, man, go on somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got kids. I don't want to worry about this.
Yeah, you got real issues to worry about.
Yeah.
Right.
I've looked back at my past though. There were people, this guy David that I was partners with, where I go back and look and I think part of our challenge between us, I was young, I was a hustler, I was out, I was grinding, and he was an older hustler. Like this guy, I mean, I got to give him a lot of credit. He was successful. He had done a lot of things. He had failed. He had, we were from two totally different time periods. We communicated differently. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of our issues arose from communication challenges, right?
Yeah.
And but what's funny is, and we had I'll say a negative experience at the end that went on for a while. But I'll tell you, there's some things as you get a little older, you go, wait a second, I've learned things from him. There's actually things that
Maybe he was right, yeah.
Yeah, some of the things he did are things that I've taken on. Actually, I really respect some of the things he did. And you know, this is a guy that we clashed and you know, and people probably wouldn't expect me to say this, but there are some things that I really respected about what he did. Like, if he had something to say to you and he couldn't get you on the phone, he would hop in his truck and drive from Tennessee and be at your house. Like,
that's good, though. That's
I
solid.
really like
Be
that.
straight up.
Yeah, like, hey, man,
The
I want to
issue
chat
is.
with you about this. I'm like, you know what? I really respect that.
I love that.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things that I go, you know, today I'm more equipped
To handle that situation.
to handle that and to be successful and prosper in that situation. And I hope, like what you're saying, I hope as I progress, I'm more equipped to handle all these situations. I think that's the difference in people that are successful or not. It's one of the differences is that they what's the word? They're growing, right?
Yeah.
They're learning from their environment and things that challenge us.
Adapting.
Yeah, they're adapting. There you go.
They're like, oh, man, you know, I see some of the people that's still in the same situation. They're like, oh, man, you've changed. I was like, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what do you want me to do?
I mean, literally every 7 years you're a new person. Yeah.
I'm completely different. I got the minute and kids helped a lot. I mean, kids definitely helped to get my head around what's important, what's not. But you know, it's the same thing with the situation that salon I went through in 2010. I had, you know, I stayed there I was there 10 years from 2000 to 2010. I had 9.5 good years there, where I learned a lot about hair styling and all that. I can't just totally bash the place the way, you know, things left and the situation of how it ended. You know, they were looking out for what's best for their business, and at that time I was 30-something, and I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care. But then when I did pay attention, I was like, oh, I can't believe y'all would do that to me. I've been loyal, and you know, that was just me being stupid. You know, now I'd go in there and say, what's the numbers? What do they look like? What account's it going in? Where's it going?
Yep.
Let's figure this out. We're going to be 100% transparent
100%.
on everything we're talking about. And I wasn't. I just was in there doing hair like a stupid,
Yeah.
you know, young guy, just happy to be doing hair and have owner on my title. I didn't care. But now I care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to watch the numbers, man.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And that was my fault. That was my stupidity. And then when I decided to watch, my accountant went in there and was like, yeah, these things. I hired my own accountant to look at it. And it was like, okay, this is getting ready to go sour real quick. And I went in there, and like I said, my mom was sick with cancer. And I went in the office, just like,
Unloaded.
I unloaded. And then at the end, when we decided to part ways, I was like, listen, okay, I'm gonna stay calm today. So give me my names, give me my numbers, give me the money I invested, and I will walk out of here. You won't ever hear from me again. And they decided not to do it that way, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So that's where we really started.
But you have to let those things go, though.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. And the sad thing about it is I carried that bag of rocks on my shoulder, right heavy on my shoulder for like a year until I was able to kind of move on.
Yeah.
And that was more negatively affecting me
Yeah.
than it ever was them, because they
100%.
were looking at it
Absolutely.
as, we're going to keep all his clients, we're going to keep this.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
looking at it from a business situation.
Yeah.
And I get it. I wouldn't personally operate that way.
No.
If somebody was trying to leave, I'd give the name and numbers and the money and say, okay, bye. This
Right.
isn't working
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, 100%.
And it didn't, they decided not to do that. But
You got to weigh your battles. It's
That's
just
right.
not worth it. And it's like, where do you draw the line in the sand? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't want to be with you on your team, the best thing you can do is a good business decision for your business is to let them go.
totally.
Yeah, and doing is sometimes, we've got a partner that's that is more like I was 10 years ago, where he's still willing to fight every fight.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing dude, but he's
Yeah.
willing to fight every fight, right? And he'll tell you that. But that brings a lot of stress too. And him and I talk about that. You've
tough,
talked about
man.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can bring a lot of extra on you. And sometimes I catch myself doing that and I go, wait a second, what am I doing? It doesn't matter at this point. This is where we are.
Yeah.
What's the path forward so we can get past this? And
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to carry it like you're saying. I don't.
That's
Yeah,
that's
man.
heavy too, man.
I got 3 kids. I got a wife. I need to provide.
That's where I want my
Yeah,
arguments to be at.
Yeah, man.
Because you gotta live with those people.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You gotta. I got to live with my wife. I have to live with my kids. I don't have to be around this person.
That's right.
And that I've always thought that as like.
So why would you trap them in a business?
Yeah, I was like, I don't
attempt to.
I don't want to deal with if there's a stylist in my salon that's not happy, leave.
Yeah.
Pack up, roll.
That's
There you
right.
go.
I'll be all right.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've said that before, and it's like, it seems like go to a place that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not happy here, go to a place that's going to make you happy.
Some people are just not happy though.
They're just unhappy people.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I've always found it easy to let things go and forgive people.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I just don't have the bandwidth or the time to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't mind problems because when you have problems, it means you're doing stuff. You've got things you have to figure out, and stress is a good thing. Like I think stress, if you look at it from a positive perspective, stress motivates you. It gives you that push that you need.
Yeah.
But negative stress is not good. It's anxiety. It can make you depressed, and why would I want to hang on to that? You know what I mean? Like if I have a falling out with someone over business, and I've had them, someone does me wrong or something, it's done. It's in the past. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's not real.
Yeah.
And why? And if it's done, it's done. Like don't hang on to it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
And let them go. Forgive them. They're just people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people do weird things because they're scared. Maybe it's fear or they can't handle the stress, the pressure. I mean, business is stressful.
Yeah.
And being an entrepreneur is stressful because all the weight falls on you. Like you don't have someone else that's carrying your burden. You're carrying the burden.
100%.
And some people just can't handle it. I've had people go into business with me and some of my partners, and Daniel's had the same experience. They just get overwhelmed, and you can see it, and you're like, oh shit, this person's they're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
They can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And they'll go away. And sometimes they leave you with a liability.
Well, that's the thing too. And as a business person, you're always going to be the bad guy. I mean, no matter what, if you're the one, like if you own the place, no matter what, you're going to be the bad guy.
Right.
And somebody's going to always think that you did them wrong or whatever. And I've dealt with that in several situations where it's like, you know what, think whatever you want to, but like this is the way I need to operate. Yeah. And I consider it like Justin Timberlake and NSYNC. Sooner or later, I'm going out on my own. Justin Timberlake's got to leave NSYNC behind and do what he's got to do and what his vision is. Now, if you want to come with me,
right,
and you want to roll with me, I'll do everything. I'll take my shirt off my back for you to get to where you got to get to. But like, don't be against me during this because I see it. Yeah. I know how you are, and I know what you're doing right now, and I don't think it's cool.
But you can't make everybody happy either.
Yeah.
Some people are just not happy people.
Yeah, and I get it too because there's several moments in my life where I'm not a happy person. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not Mr. Positive up here. I'm not. I'm always a realist at the end of the day. And like my brother's the happiest. He never has a bad day. And I look at him. I'm like, dude, like how do you do that? Yeah. Some days I just wake up with a dark cloud over my head. Yeah. And then just try to move on.
Try and get through it.
Whatever. But I mean, it's like you said, you got to forgive people at the end of the day. And like, I don't have the time or the effort or the energy to even like, I just cut people off now where I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay. You don't really even exist anymore as far as I'm concerned. I'm done.
Yeah.
We're cool. I don't wish any harm on you. I'm just not rolling with you like that.
Yeah.
We're just not.
Time.
Yeah. And people aren't going to think the way you think. And that's the thing. I like, you watch that Last Dance documentary. Those people aren't going to think the way Michael Jordan thinks. He's a killer. He's on a whole nother level of trying to do whatever he has to do at any cost to win that championship. And, come along with me. And this is what we can do to win this championship. But if you're not going to operate at a high level, we're not going to win. And that's how I look at things. It's like, let's operate at a high level, especially at hair shows. I mean, the salon kind of takes care of itself now, but especially at hair shows, the dude I'm with, when we do shows together, I'm like, man, this is what we got to do. Let's go out and let's kill it. Let's crush it for this hour we're on stage. Let's focus. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's look at every aspect of this hair show and do what we got to do to sell products and be, walk out of here successful and go back up to our rooms and chill out because it can get weird and I mean, it can get dirty. It can get everybody, people are at your throats and whatnot, and it's just like.
There's a lot of people that want to be where you're at.
I'm like, I don't want no part of that, man. And you can, how come Bradley and Rocky don't come down to the bar and hang out? Because when we do, you're gonna say something about us, or or if we do something, happen to say something stupid or do something stupid, you're gonna be the first one to go tell somebody.
Yeah.
I don't want no part of that.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be at my room by myself, go eat a steak at Ruth's Chris, and go back up and chill out.
So what led you to the path of doing like hairdressing and stuff like that? How did that come into play?
I didn't know. I was like,
Voice from above.
I was like, this is a powerful studio up here. My brother was a hairdresser. My grandmother was a hairstylist, so
Right
they
on.
used to drop us off at my grandmother's beauty shop when I was little. And when my brother was in barber school, I would cut a lot of people's hair on my basketball team.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, okay, this is pretty easy.
Right. So it's a craft you got into
This is
early.
something-
You were surrounded by it.
Yeah. I was like, I picked it up pretty quickly cutting men's hair, but I had no clue how to cut women.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I already know how to cut men's. If I need to go to hair school, I want to go and learn to cut women's.
Right.
And go in that direction.
More money in that too, right?
Yeah, and I realized that. I cut men's hair for like a year, and then I did a friend of mine. She gave me like $135 to do color, and I was like, I'm in. And that was, now my basic service is around $200 for cutting color, but I was like, I'm in. This is, and like now, even now when guys are trying to get in now, like, dude, I'm taking care of my college first. I mean, no offense.
Yeah.
Well, what if I pay you $60 for a haircut? I was like, no, it's still, you gotta get up to $150, $200 range for me to come in here and do this right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
When did you start your first business?
97. I
Wow.
owned a little barbershop in Madison. And I was cutting hair for $6 a head. I went in business partners with this old guy that was getting ready to retire. And then I got in there, and I was like, this guy's never going to fucking retire. He just kept cutting and cutting. I was like, dude, I thought you said you were going to retire in a year. And he was just rolled.
That's fine.
And I was like, yeah, I don't really see myself staying here forever. And then I opened another little shop in Eden. I don't know. I just each step I was like, I don't see myself here too long.
Yeah.
And then I would look at something else and look at something different, and then kind of venture my way out into Greensboro. And then I got hooked up with a salon over in High Point, the one I was talking about earlier.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, I had 9.5 good years there, and that last 6 months was horrible. And like I said, my mother was dealing with cancer. I was watching that day by day, and I would go in there, and every time my phone rang, I thought, I was like, this is gonna be a horrible phone call. So I just wasn't in a good space. So
Yeah.
then I was kind of forced to go out and just kind of play like, okay, we got to get this guy out of here. He's getting a little crazy on us. Because, like I said, I found the numbers were not right. The numbers weren't matching up from what I saw and what my accountant saw. So when I started going at him after it was like, yeah, this guy's got to go. So
Your salon does great now, right?
yeah, and then I opened that salon downtown, and then, I was paying rent, and I was like, I'm not really feeling this paying rent thing. I want to buy a building. So
I like it.
I never spent my hair show checks. I did the Jay Leno thing. I was like, I'm never going to spend these checks, ever. I'm going to live off of what I make behind the chair, and that's it. That's how I'm going to function. But the hair show checks I never spent. I always either bought a toy, like toys with it, or that was my play money or investment money. So I just invested that strong.
That's good.
And I didn't invest in anything, stock-wise or anything like that. I just invested in paying off things.
Yeah.
And so, and like I said, my whole situation has always been, if everybody turns on me one day, and I think that's just my WWE persona. If everybody decides to turn on me and I have to take the dark road and I have to be here by myself, can I survive? And it's yes. Now it's yes. So, and with that comfort, that net of comfort, I feel like I'm a better person because of it, because I don't worry about it as much, and I don't feel that stress when I go into my place of business. But and like I said, the group that's in there, I was straight up when they came in because, I had a few issues here and there with the previous group that I had when I was downtown. It was just like, and that was a lot of that was being too good of friends with them instead of being an owner.
Yeah.
And this time around, I was like, when people came in interview, I would say, okay, we're not going to do any education. And all salons do. All salons are like, what type of education are you doing? How many meetings are you having? Or what type of team building are you going to do? What type of this? So when they sat in there the first time, I said, I'm not doing no team building. I'm not doing any education. I'm not going to do this and that and the other. If you come in here and you're an adult, we're going to get along. If you can't do that, don't waste my time and don't waste yours. And one of the girls was like, this is one of the weirdest interviews I've ever had. I said, I'm just being straight up. I'm past all that.
I don't want to work with you.
I don't want to. Exactly.
Don't be your boss. Yeah.
Exactly. Just come in, do your job, clean up after yourself. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Do your clients and take care of what needs to. We're not doing these team building exercises where we're going to go play volleyball together or
Corporate world stuff.
I'm not doing it because
Yeah.
half the times that I've had to do it, it's horrible. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, especially in a small setting like that.
I was like, you guys are trying to force us all to get along. It's always somebody gets mad at somebody.
You're not
And
working for a
team
big
building-
corporate chain or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want it, and I'm not gonna have any meetings. If I have to have a meeting, it's not gonna be good.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that because every meeting I've ever had, I've fired somebody. So, and I've never had an issue firing somebody. Never. I mean, I started getting good at it there for a while. Because I looked at it as like, if I leave this salon today, and I go home and I'm around my family, and I'm still thinking about this situation, I'm eliminating it. So if I thought about it for 2 days in a row, that was my sign to say, get rid of this person. And I did.
It's probably a good decision. 'Cause
Yeah.
A lot of times when you don't, it causes more problems.
Yeah. And that's why I'm glad I'm in the situation now. Now I don't have to depend on someone else to pay my bills. So it was like in that movie, The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
At the end, where he's going through all that stuff, he's like, I got no money, I got nothing, I owe nobody nothing. I'm in a position of fuck off. So I was like, that's the position to be in, where you can tell everybody to go screw themselves. That's great.
Yeah.
And that's how I've tried to think. It's a little nuts, but I know it's nuts.
It works for you. So
And I'll be the first one to say I know I'm nuts on a certain level, but I got to do what works for me and what's best for my family.
Yeah. Right.
No, I agree with that. I think you just described what Donald Trump is experiencing. He's got fuck you money.
I ain't got that type of money. I do good, and I live within my means.
Right.
And I think that's the thing. A lot of people are going to see through this
Oh, yeah.
pandemic. Live within your means.
That's right.
Because
It's true.
You got a lot of fakers out there that is hitting
a
hard.
lot of people fronting.
Yeah.
I think especially what we talked about earlier, a lot of middle class people that are living paycheck to paycheck because they're not living within their means.
It's crazy.
And they didn't expect the bottom to fall out. Maybe their job or whatever's going well, but it's enough to keep them, steady.
Yeah.
But as soon as that goes away, everything falls apart.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, and that'd be a horrible feeling. Like I said, my buddy sings country music, and he's the same thing. He's like, man, I'm so glad I didn't.
Oh yeah, artists are.
He's like,
really
I'm so
struggling.
glad I didn't buy that house I was looking at. He's like, because it was a baller house. He's like, right now I'm good. I said, good, man. I was like, you living within your means. That's the way to do it. He's like, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I got buddies of mine. It'd be tough. I mean, I got buddies of mine right now that front like that, and I was like, that guy's not going to be doing good very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can get away with it during a boom economy
Yeah.
when everything's going. It's like, let's say you had $1 million in the real estate and the economy's booming for years, and now you got $10 million worth of real estate, and you're living on top of the world, but you elevate your lifestyle. Well, then what happens is when the economy crashes again, if you didn't plan properly, you'll lose everything you had and then some.
And that's what I've realized too. Like this made me look at my lifestyle of what I'm living too. Like of how like I said, I've always watched my money, but I did watch stuff a little bit more. It's like, okay, I got this bill, to get this bill. This bill's unnecessary. This is unnecessary. This is unnecessary, and this is unnecessary. That a lot of stuff that I wasn't really paying that close attention to, but now I looked at it as like, okay, I need to kind of watch that a little bit more. And I found myself on meals, the amount of money that I would spend on meals, because I enjoy going to like a restaurant and sitting down by myself and eating. That the difference I spent in going through and getting a grilled chicken sandwich at McDonald's compared to where my normal meal was going, I was like, wow, I'm saving a lot of money on meals during this whole pandemic. It's crazy.
That's true, yeah. Actually, we've been cooking a lot, grilling almost every day.
Yeah, we'll do a shameless Publix plug, but I feel like they've just got the best selection of meats, at least close by, and I've been eating Publix.
They just put a Publix near here, right?
Yeah.
So we've been
nice.
We literally are buying a couple $100 a week worth of meat, and we grill out. I grill out at home. I grill here.
It's
we cook every day, man.
Chilling.
Yeah, we just cook every day.
That's awesome.
That's the best. So like, is this you guys' like building that you run your business out of, or like?
Well, I used to own part of the building. I sold my shares to Daniel, and there's several companies that lease spaces in this building.
Yeah, I think there's 14 tenants. It's fully leased. It's 14 tenants, I believe, maybe 13, but it's fully leased, and we got other ones. But we've got this property, but Neil and I will hold a lot of our meetings here and operate somewhat out of here as well. And obviously, we have this unit that we run the podcast out of, and
gotcha.
We've completely redone this. We're getting ready to do the bathrooms. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's a good central area.
This is sweet, man. This is a nice setup. Like I said, when I first watched, because I've been following Neil for a bit, like when I first watched, I was like, that's a sick podcast setup.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Like for real, because I've sat it somewhere. It's a mic and an iPad, but like
I got to give Neil credit for everything except for the chairs. I take credit about every episode. I got to take credit for the chairs.
Man.
Yeah,
Those chairs are awesome.
Yeah, you need to take full credit on these. Because this is coffee.
Yeah,
those chairs are sweet.
But everything else, I got this. But you leave it to a fat guy to worry about being comfortable, though.
You should be. If you're going to sit here for more than 20 minutes, you have to be comfortable.
100%.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's nothing worse than having a bad chair and your back starts aching and whatnot, and the whole nine.
The joys of getting older.
That's it, man. And dude, I feel it.
Oh, I do too, man.
That's why, a lot of times people are like, hey, man, can you, a lot of, I don't know. I had a situation recently where, people were sending me messages during this whole pandemic thing of like, hey, will you help promote my product? Or will you help do this and do that and whatnot? And somebody wanted me to promote a candle they were selling or trying to get out and help out. And I was like,
I saw you do it. You posted a video about this recently.
yeah. And it's like, somebody wanted a candle, somebody else wanted something else. And then it was 2 or 3 different things where I was like, oh my God, I'm getting overwhelmed with these people asking me to do stuff. And it's like, you're selfish, you're not going to do it. And then they come at me all weird. And I'm like, man, do you know how much my back hurts and my neck hurts and my feet hurt and the time I've spent away from my family to look out for me and my business, not to go doing, to promote your candles or promote your this and that. Like,
They can pay you to do it.
Pay me.
Be a sponsor.
Pay me. But then again, I can't even really do that because of my contract with Chi.
Oh, okay.
And, so I got to be careful about what I do anyway. But it's like,
right.
I put the time in and I put the effort in, and I've spent time away from my family. When I get on the road, that's a time away from my family. So I'm looking out for me.
Right.
And I will look out for you when I can or help you out when I can. And I'm not acting like I got a tremendous amount of stroke or anything like that. It's just like, I got to do what I got to do right now. I don't have a job either.
Yeah.
And I don't have this going on. I'd like to be able to sell 10,000 e-candles, but like, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
It was weird too, because it was over a candle. One thing was over a candle. Another thing was over just some other random stuff. I was like, this is strange.
I think tensions are high. People are freaking out.
And that's what it is.
It.
And at the end of the day, I was like, look, I got no hard feelings toward nobody. Everybody's stressed.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
just because I seem like I'm doing good on social media. I mean, in all honesty, during this pandemic, I felt like I've hustled harder during this of doing lots of different things than I did at work, because I was trying to get, I was getting on everything I was hustling. I was putting it out there. I was working in the salon, getting everything ready. I mean,
Yeah, you did some remodeling and stuff, right?
did some remodeling. I did a couple, things for Chi. I was pushing it as hard as I could for that. I spent more money on advertising type things than I did any when we're open, just because I knew people were sitting at home watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the positive aspects of this whole thing was did give us a chance, give everybody a chance to sort of step back and reevaluate some things and plan a little bit,
Yeah. Well, and you got a lot of people that sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. A lot of people got laid off, and I hate that. But a lot of people didn't like their jobs to begin with.
It's true. Yeah.
So maybe now they've had a period to think about it, and maybe they're going to enter a field or career or education. They're going to go down a path that maybe they thought that they should have been going down anyway.
And you should. And I think that's the saddest thing in the world is to go to a job every day and not enjoy it and not do what you're supposed to be doing. Like I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
Like I love what I do. I mean, the only other thing I think I would be better at is if I was Neil's side and jumped in the wrestling ring. I mean, I would have loved that, to walk out as the bad guy every night and get the crowd booing me. But like, do something you love. Like, at the end of the day, you have to do something you love, because I mean, we're only here for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And if I go to the grave, I'm going to the grave on empty. I'm going to the grave with nothing in the tank. I want to know that I accomplished my goals of what I set out to do. And at my age right now, I feel like anything that I've done, I have accomplished my goals. Anything else is just icing on the cake. I mean, I did stuff where I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually here, and I'm actually sitting here and doing this. This is cool. This is sweet. Like, I mean, this is where I wanted to be. And I've had 5 or 6 of those moments where I'm like, where it just hits you and it's surreal. You're like, I'm in this moment. This is what I was asking for. Don't screw it up. Let's go.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't prepared for that when they do get that moment. It's like, when you get that moment, don't screw it up, because it will eat away at you, man. Because I had one where I was like iffy about it. I was like, damn, I did good, but I didn't do great. And it ate away from me for a week. And they called and they were like, no, that was amazing. I was like, oh, thank God. Let's go. I ain't going to let that happen to me again, because I didn't prepare the way I should have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I go in like it's on. It's that 8 Mile M&M moment every time. Get one shot, one opportunity. I'm getting after it.
I like it.
How'd you get into doing the celebrity hair and being on QVC and all that kind of stuff?
From the hair care company I work for is Chi Hair Care and Farouk Systems. Farouk owns it, and I went in. They called me, and it's the weirdest story, because they called me. They were like, "Hey, they have a QVC airing up, and my buddy Rocky that I do hair show with, he was the stylist behind the scenes styling hair,
Right.
And they were like, we need someone else to help out, and I never have considered myself a stylist of of dressing hair or doing hair. But I mean, that's a lot of curling and lots of that. I never really considered myself that type of hairstylist.
Right.
I'm more of a hair cutter
Right.
and whatnot. But they called me and they said, we got to have one more person, but we only have budget because of we need a guy because of they can room with Rocky.
Right.
I was like, yeah, okay, let me think about it. And then I called back. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't want to miss this opportunity. And I went in there and I got along with everybody so great. I stayed up for probably 36 hours straight, and I just worked. I mean, I worked. And my mother was an avid QVC watcher.
Yeah.
So it was kind of pretty special to me to be there.
Sure.
Because as soon as I walked in the building, I started getting a little emotional. I was like, damn, my mom could see me walking in here right now, and I could tell her. And I actually reached to pick my phone up a couple of times to call her, just out of, I got to call my mom and tell her about this.
Yeah.
But, and I got along with everybody so great. And then they started calling me back and were like, and I just kept assisting and helping out behind the scenes. And then the person I was assisting is, now president of the company. She stepped out and went to, became president of the company. So I would fill in for her at the 3 a.m. airings just to get my foot in the door. So I had to try out and do all that. And then the 3 a.m. airings were making good sales even at 3 a.m. So they were like, you want to do it full time? I was like, I'm in. And I got along with everybody really good, and like I didn't really, I didn't go in there and cause any issues. Where a lot of times people go in places and they're like, nah, they don't want that here. They don't want that type of vibe here.
Yeah.
And I've always been good about reading the vibe of like, what kind of vibe is this? How do I need to be? Where do I need to go? How do I need to not get in the way and just be there to help out? And it went really well. But then again, once you get there for a certain amount of time and you realize how things work, you don't want to sit back too much either. You kind of want to say, all right, I need this, and I need this, and I need this to make my show better. So we get all this together. And then I changed the way I think of saying, instead of being that sit back, relax guy, it's like, okay, now this is what we need to make our show better. Let's make this happen. Let's plan this out. And it's been going good. So I've been there for like 7 to 10 years. And then through that has just led me to doing a few celebrities here and there. I mean, there was a lot of them there.
Awesome.
But it was always a celebrity like, Brooke Shields or
Right on.
Joan Rivers and people like that.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart was in there one day, and that was pretty wild. She was walking around drinking a glass of wine in between airings, and I was like, can we drink? 'Cause if we can, I'm getting ready to get me a bottle of Grey Goose, and I'm getting ready to do one hell of an airing.
Is it SAG?
What's that?
Is QVC SAG?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could drink then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not union.
I think it's all, pretty much just
All non-union.
Yeah, they just call you in. I don't know for sure though. I mean, because it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And and that was another thing too. When we sit in like business meetings there, I was like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna let them do what they need to do. I'm gonna sit back because I don't know. I'm still new here. I don't have enough knowledge of what I'm not gonna speak up just to hear myself talk.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in those situations like to hear themselves talk, and it's like, nah, don't say anything. Just do what they're paying you to come here to do.
Right.
That's it. And that's what I try to stick to. But it's been a good gig. And like I said, my mom was such an avid QVC watcher. I met some of her favorite people. And it was, I walked out of there like, oh, man, I made my mom's dreams come true on this one. This is gold.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was cool.
Very cool.
I'm getting the good stretch in here. Another benefit of the chairs,
The best.
the back. I'm telling you, man. Just
You got it at the right level.
That's
where you
right.
can kind of bend it over.
that's right.
There's chairs. This is me being old. There's chairs at East Coast Wings at the bar that I sit in. And I get right up under my back just enough. And I was like, and that's the reason. I mean, the food's good, but that East Coast Wing chair. I hope that if they change those, I'm gonna be like, dude,
Yeah.
let me buy one of those chairs so I can put in my house in my movie room and watch Rocky movies.
That's funny. So what's next for you, man? Anything new or?
I think about that all the time, and nothing really. I'm going to keep doing what I do, and hopefully different doors open up. Like, I admire what you do of how you're always doing something new. Like, you're doing it, you're an actor, you do comedy routines, like you put it out there. Like, there's always things like that I always think about. It's like, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I could make something happen, because I like being a hairdresser.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get to the point where it's just defines me, because I do think I could be good at other things.
Right. Yeah.
But then again, I always go back to, I want to put everything into it or not.
Yeah.
But it's it's too easy for me to make money as a hairdresser too, and that's where my bread and butter is. So
Right. Yeah.
if I can get time to set something aside to go try something new, I would love to try to do that acting gig, man. I would love to go to Charlotte, and even if I didn't even do it, I would like to go to Charlotte and do the training and things like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Just because I think that could help me so much in my craft as
Definitely
it
with
is.
the QVC stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
Stuff like that just intrigues me. Like, even coming in here, like, I like looking at the lights and the microphones and that type of stuff. Like, and I look at that type of stuff more than anything else. Of like, this is cool. This is a sweet setup, and I look at everything from a different scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've always, even when you talked to me earlier about doing that class when he was coming into Greensboro or something,
Uh huh.
I was like, man, I would love to do that, because I took one class in Houston from an actor who did the same type of thing.
Right.
It was cool. I love stuff like that. But I mean, and then when Luke Perry died, I was like, maybe that can inspire me to be on the new 90210 or something.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's cool. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's so cool that you do things like that.
Well,
I
have
awesome.
I'm analytical and I'm creative, so I have like the business side of me, which is really important to me, and I've always had that drive to be an entrepreneur, but also I've always had that creative side too, where I want to be an artist. So I just do both. Yeah, and I try to mix them together as much as possible.
And that's good too, because like you're tapping into everything that you got.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we tap into everything we have, because I mean, there's a lot of people that are good at a lot of different things, and you know, you just pick something that you're good at and kind of stick to that your whole career. And like I feel like I'm at the point in my career where I could, you know, do other stuff and try other stuff. And I've had enough different creative outlets as well, being a business person, going out to do hair shows and being able to be creative on that level, because I look at the hair show more from a production standpoint, where Rocky, who I work with, looks at it more from a hair standpoint. And as a team together, we're able to mesh that together, and it works good, like a good tag team that has chemistry. And you know, you get to the point where you don't even have to think what the other person's thinking. If both of you are on and you walk off, you're like, oh man, that was so satisfying. That was cool. We did what we came to do on that one.
Right. Yeah.
And that definitely helps my creative outlet of it. And you know, I've always thought more of sales, and he's always more hair.
Yeah. Okay. I think with the way I try to do stuff is, I do a lot of different things, but I try to do things that complement each other. So if I'm working on, like say, you know, just in acting and writing can also help with business. Yeah. And the same thing with doing stand-up. You know, when you're doing stand-up, it's live performance, so you're exposing yourself to a really uncomfortable situation. You're performing in front of a live crowd. Yeah. You're connecting with people. It creates a new type of awareness. And I mean, I'm not good at it yet either, but you know, it's still.
Well, at least you're willing to admit that and know that, because so many people do stuff and I just killed it. I was like,
but it helps.
No, you didn't.
No, yeah. But it helps though when you go into like a meeting or something, you got to talk to someone because you feel more comfortable. Yeah. Speaking to other people, you're training yourself how to speak better.
Yeah.
You know,
and all that stuff. I mean, there's nothing in the world more humbling than getting out in front of a live audience and having your ass handed to you because you didn't perform at a level you should have. I mean, that's a humbling experience.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, man, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I've had it happen before, and
that's brutal.
Yeah. And it's you feel it, and that clock is going so slow. Like I've looked at my watch, I was like
time distortion.
Man, I still got 30 minutes of this meeting ahead of me. and at the beginning, that's how it was. But now you kind of know how to. Now I know how to read an audience. Yeah. And reading that audience is such an. I mean, it's so much stronger than having skills of you know how to do the hair itself. Yeah. Because, I mean, that's going to pretty much become second nature now. But, like, being able to read that audience, I feel like now that's what I'm good at, where Rocky still is not an audience reader. He's an amazing hairdresser. And I'll go over and I'll be like, you know, we'll be in the middle of something like, hey, bro. Like, I'm like, quit doing that. Stick that pen up your ass. I always say stuff to him. So
pay attention to these people.
Yeah, stick that pen up your ass so we can start. Like, let's get after it. Quit being a clown. Because he'll be going so slow. So I'll say something, he'll start laughing, and just to get him back into it, and we just start grooving again. So, I mean, reading the audience is huge. And have you ever done anything in Philly? That audience is tough, man. And even comedians I've seen, like Bill Burr, like laid into Philly one time during his comedic act.
I bet he paid for that, didn't he?
I'm telling you, man, that audience is tough. Even doing hair shows there, a lot of times we'll throw samples out to the crowd and they go crazy. Here they just watch the drop off. What is this? Come on, guys, let's go.
A lot of those northeastern cities.
It's hardcore.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a trip, man. And then I got to the point I was like, this audience likes to be talked down to in a weird way, where there's like, bring it.
Tough people.
Yeah, and I felt that, but then again, I was like, I can't do that.
I've known people from Philly, and they're tough people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think Daniel's got some clients up there, maybe.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I could just tell that when I would talk a little bit more junk to them, they were like,
They appreciate it.
starting
Yeah,
to dig
100%.
this-
Yeah.
starting to like this guy. But then I was like, I can't go too extreme because my
Yeah.
company will fire.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a comedy show.
Yeah, I was like, I want to really go all in and see if I could personally pull this off on a personal level without just going absolutely nuts on them.
Yeah.
I had partners I had to give a heads up. I'm like, hey, listen, just so you know, he's not mad at you. I was telling them about my Philly partners.
Yeah.
Look, they're not mad at you. This is how they talk. This is the way they expect to talk to you. This is the
Yeah.
way they expect you to talk back to them. Don't take it personal.
Right.
Like, this is how it goes. I had to like preface it because the one I was telling you earlier that we'll fight the fights.
Yeah,
That's the one I had to be like, hey, now, just so you know. I told everybody, but I'm like, I had to especially tell him.
yeah.
Because sure enough, man, it was like, is the Philly client, man. I mean, it was.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
And I've always had a weird connection to that city, because even when we flopped to QVC, that's where it was based out of, was Westchester, Pennsylvania. So we flew into Philly, and we'd get a car and go to Westchester. But even flying, I always had a weird connection to that the grittiness and dirtiness of that city, just because I was such a huge Rocky Balboa fan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like every time I look in, I was like, oh, that's the docks where Rocky ran. That's where Rocky was there. Like, and if I had time off, I'd go to Adrian's grave, and I would just do the stupidest. I went and ate at the restaurant that was in the Rocky movies, in the Rocky and the Creed movies.
Yeah.
That's
They're
actually
great movies, though.
that restaurant, if you're ever in Philly, it's called Victor's Cafe. Go to it. Like, it is so cool, man. Like,
Okay.
it's great Italian food, and they come up, and probably once every 30 minutes, one of the waitresses will stop. The whole place stops, and they sing opera music while you're eating. It's
Wow.
dope. And I think that's what happens. Stallone fell in love with it, and then added that in the movie.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. Like, I sat in there, I was like, I'm sitting in the same booth that Creed was sitting in. I'm sitting, and the next time I asked for the next booth, I was like, this is where Drago was in Creed 2. I sat in the exact same spots.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
I got so much life off of that. I was like, this is so cool. And then when we moved to HSN, I was like, well, we're going to Florida, so that's pretty nice too.
Yeah, yeah. Much more laid back.
Much more chill, much more laid back. I mean, you go in there, the sun shining, and Philly just had that grit. I don't know what it was too, and Philly put me in the mood. Like when I landed, I was like, let's go. I'm gonna conquer the world this weekend.
You landed in Florida, you're like, where's the pool at?
Yeah, Florida, you're like, I need to tan, man.
Yeah.
These people look good down here, tan and whatnot.
We were in Miami recently. I was with my wife, and everybody had their shirt off. Like, they're running down the road, all the men in their short shorts, no shirt. I'm like, God.
Shredded.
Yeah, ripped. I was like, man, I wouldn't make it down here, man.
Yeah.
Well, shirt's coming off anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it.
Yeah. You're like, don't nobody know me here. Let me
Yeah,
take my
exactly. I
shirt
don't
off.
care.
Yeah.
Watch I told my wife, I was like, watch his confidence, baby. People be jogging by with a 6-pack, I'd check them, Like,
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
We on the same page here.
You're like, aren't you supposed to be up in Jacksonville? Orlando?
God dang.
Yeah, man, but it's all good, man. I've had a cool career, like, and that's the thing. Like I think about that all the time. Like, man, I've had a sweet career, and I've enjoyed it. And like right now, where I'm at with the salon situation, that was one of those things that I never really wanted to be a salon owner. I just kind of fell into it and was kind of forced into it, and it was the right thing to do at the right time. But like the group I have now, they're a good group of hairstylists, and they're adults. They don't come at me with anything stupid. That's all I ask. Just leave me alone. Let me do what I do. You do what you do.
Yep.
If a piece of paper's laying down, don't walk past it 10 times. Pick it up, throw it in the trash.
Yeah,
That's stuff like that is what drives me crazy.
That's one of the biggest things about building a successful business, is having a good team.
A good team
Yeah.
around.
And you have to go through a lot of people to get a good
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some, I'm definitely not perfect as a leader, and I try to look back and go, you know what, as a leader, I got to take responsibility for these shortcomings, these things, right? And then also, but each of your staff members has to look and go, wait a second. So I try to take this sales equals forgiveness model. So sales is really, for me, is performance. So if you got guys that have a track record of performing and they give effort and they go above and beyond, they're going to have times where they don't. And I try to not let it slide. I try to give them some leeway. I try to, in a positive way, talk about it. But if they leave that piece of paper on the floor over and over and over and over again, well, then what they've done is they've changed their mentality and they need a new team.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think that's happened with me before. Of like some of the top producing stylists would look at you. Well, if I don't get my way, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
it's not going to work like that here.
Yep.
Because I don't, you know. And to me, you're not. If you're doing that, you're not a good hairstylist.
Right.
I mean, you're a good hairstylist on that level, but to me, it's time for you to go do your own thing. And you deal with people like you and see how well that works, because if you're gonna pull that card on me, like, I don't even want to be around that. Like, it's like you're not gonna hold me over a barrel to make a decision, because you're gonna come up on the wrong end of that every time.
Yeah, well, in your situation or your industry is a lot different too, because you're working with other people that are also self-employed.
Yeah.
And they need to be independent.
Yeah.
You don't need to hold their hand. You just need to. You're renting a space to them, and they need to come and use that space and respect the rest of the
salon I had downtown wasn't like that. It was commissioned.
That's right. Yeah, okay.
They were working for me, and they would check in at the front desk, and taxes and everything were taken care of. That, and that's one of the things that made me realize that this is not what I want.
Right.
And with the younger stylists that I saw coming out of school, and their motivation factor was not what I was looking for either.
Yeah.
I had 2 or 3 assistants in a row where I was like, I don't know, like, this is my future of what I got to build this business around. Like, I think I'm going to go in a different direction and kind of look to do more of a rental situation where I have independent stylists to just do their own thing.
Yeah. I've noticed that too, and I was going to ask you that, because some of the barbershops, my family, my brother and my father own several barbershops. They don't cut hair. They just own the shops. They're in the booth rental business.
Yeah.
So, and it's really interesting. So, but there's that model where you're charging booth rental, and then I've seen people do booth rental and commission, and then I've seen people just charge straight commission, and then you got like I don't want to throw anybody out, but there's a major chain that also has their people on salary and pays them a commission.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. But I personally would think that the booth rental model is the way to go.
Well, I mean, I think commission, if you're leasing your space or renting out or leasing your building and stuff, commission, you're going to make the most money, but you're going to have the most work too.
Right.
I mean, booth rentals pretty much pay me, put the money in the box at the end of the week, take care of yourself, clean up, and it kind of takes care of itself. But like, if I was in a booth rental situation and I didn't fully own my building, like, I mean, and I had to pay thousands of dollars on rent, I don't think the owner would make that much money, other than the fact of saying that you're owner of a hair salon. And I tell people that a lot when they call it, like, do you have any advice on this of, me owning a salon? I was like, yeah, I do. Like, don't do it just because you want to be a salon owner. Yeah. Do it to figure out how to make real money at it.
Right.
And if you're doing it just to say you're a salon owner, after the newness wears off, it's not going to be any fun anymore.
Yeah.
Because after about 6 months, you're going to get into reality. Okay, I paid to upfit this place. That bill's coming in. I'm paying the lights. I'm paying electricity. I'm paying this. And the amount of rent that's coming in, everything they're doing to be a salon owner is going into, all their rent is going into everything. And all they're able to do is keep this little bit of where they still have to be behind a chair. And that's just to say
it's just a job.
It's just to say you're a salon owner. You might as well just go rent a booth from someone else.
Yeah.
You're going to make the same amount of money, but do
less
it.
headache.
Yeah,
right.
And way less headache. Do it if you're going to make real money, but don't do it just to say you're a salon owner.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing in the world to me. But I've never looked at it as, like I said, I never wanted to be a salon owner. I just, kind of, that was the direction I had to go in. But do it to make money. I mean, I don't understand this whole thing where people go and work and do creative things for the exposure. Oh man.
I guess if there's an end game to it, it makes sense, but you've got to be heading towards something.
You got to have that end game. And I've done several things for free starting off. But once you get value in what you're doing, you can't sell yourself short and cheaping out just for just for the fact of it. I know I have a value in what I do. I know if they put a product in my hand, I can sell it, and I keep that valuable. I'm not just going to give that away of saying, okay, yeah, I'll go do that for you for $100. Nah. And I'm going to get on an airplane, get in a hotel, be away from my family.
Yeah.
Deal with everything that goes along with it of a corporate world and not get a paycheck or not get something that holds value to it. I can stay at home and play my Nintendo.
Yeah.
I mean, my NES Classic.
There you go. It's amazing to me, though, how many people would pay a stranger to do something but expect you to do it for free.
Totally. And in our industry, it's really bad about that, too. It's like, hey, we're friends, do this. And I was like, no, man. I mean, look, if Neil comes to me and says, hey, hook me up. Okay, yeah, cool. But I know in the long run, he's going to hook me up with something.
Right.
And I get that type of relationship. I do that.
Networking,
I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that I know is not really going to bring value to what it's going into, I don't even want to go down that road with you because it's always going to be you helping them out, and then they're going to turn on you the minute it doesn't work out right for them.
That's right.
And I'm like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with this cat.
Yeah.
And I can read. I've always been able to read that pretty good. Where I'm like, something's a little sketchy about this guy. I'll stay cool with him, but we ain't gonna roll down this road.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Well, dude, do you have any, you want to give some information out on how people can follow you or any upcoming QVC events?
Nothing's on the books.
Nothing's on the books. When will you be back doing that again?
I don't know. I'm hoping soon. I mean, I still get the emails of, their regulations of what they're doing, but they're saying we have a hair show coming up in 100 days in Orlando. So,
okay.
That's still on the books if things don't change. But I mean, that's one of the biggest conventions of the year.
Wow.
And that's in Orlando, Florida. So hopefully we'll at least get that one hair show in this year, and things will start to pick back up after that. But
hope so.
You can follow me on Instagram at Bradley Tuggle. I'm on Facebook, Bradley Tuggle, but I'm pretty much maxed out on friends on that. But I got to figure out how to get rid of these friends that never support you on Facebook.
That's right.
I'm like, listen, I got 5,000 friends. I got 2,000 waiting. I'm acting like I'm so popular.
Killing it.
No, I mean, I do. But I'm
imposter
looking at,
syndrome, that's what that is.
But I'm looking at it as like, okay, if you're not even supporting my career and not hitting like on anything, just unfriend me because I may have a potential client in these 2,000 people coming in.
I think it helped your algorithms, though, doesn't it?
What's that?
Having all those followers helped your algorithm, I think.
I don't know how it works on Facebook. I know it does on Instagram. But
Instagram for sure,
Yeah, but as far as Facebook goes, it's
Maybe
just
not.
like I want to look at it for my clients behind a chair. If I got a client that's been wanting to come see me, and then I don't add her as a friend, and she's not going to like it because people can take that personal, man. It's like, no, I want to get you in. I want to, help. If I can't get you, somebody in my salon will get you. But I got all these other people just looking at stuff, and it's amazing in Greensboro too. You do anything cool, they not liking nothing. It's the weirdest thing. But I'll have
Small town.
But I'll have the biggest hairdressing names in the industry. It's like, dude, I'm so proud of you. Cool what you're doing. The person down the street in Greensboro, it'll give you nothing. And that's the name of the game, though.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It is what it is. But
I had a family member recently tell another family member, I own a real estate firm, and they said that they're not going to use my firm because they don't want to give me any more money. Right, but like it's this thing you're talking about. It's like people for whatever reason.
Where's the logic?
I don't get that. Like, and
I think it's a comfort level. People are used to you. They know you, so they sort of take you for granted.
And you know what? That's so true. And I felt that way at the salon I had downtown. I was like, I go out on the road, and it's cool. Like everybody appreciates what you do and whatnot, and they're like, oh. you go back into your salon and they're just like, oh yeah, that's just Bradley. That's just that jerk Bradley. Like, really?
All the mystery's gone. They know you.
Yeah.
Like because these guys on the road kind of love me.
Yeah, right.
Kind of a big deal out there, man.
That's funny.
They look at me like, and then but the worst thing about it is they'll bring your name up when they're talking to somebody like they do know you really well
Right.
and talk shit about you.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like what part of that's cool?
Yeah.
You're just trying to connect it to me like you know me on a personal level,
Right. Yeah.
and downplay me like screw
Yeah.
you, man.
100%.
There's plenty of those people out there.
That's
100%.
it, plenty.
But,
And that's what makes successful people successful, because those people are out there and they're not
Exactly.
they're clowns
Hey, they're putting all their attention into hating you,
on dumb things.
right, on dumb shit, right, instead of focusing on their grind or their hustle or
Yeah.
improving themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why, the cream rises to the top, right? Like,
Always at the end of the day, and I've seen that so many times. Like people even in hair shows, they'll give them opportunities on stage. I'm like, look, what do we need to do? I was like, well, if you're gonna listen to me, I'll tell you. But if you're just gonna take it and run off and do whatever you want, act like an idiot, that's a different story. But like at the end of the day, your numbers are gonna produce. So it's about this, it's about that, and it's about this. So if you're gonna go up there and just think you killed it every time and you're not gonna listen to anything, and two people were clapping for you and you get off on that, like that, you gotta have the whole group engaged into what you're saying. But it's interesting. I was like, I make it look easy. It ain't that easy. Just because I make it look easy, it ain't that easy.
Right.
And that's I think that's huge too, because a lot of people make things look real easy, and then you get up there and you got crickets.
Yeah.
When you get up there, and it's it's, like I said, that's humbling, man.
it's experience. Yeah.
And I've always tried to hang out with that person that's got the experience. When I first started the hair show industry, the two guys I hung out with had been there for 25 years. And I was always at the table with those guys. They took me under the wing, they helped me out, and I was like, these guys are going to tell me the ins and outs of stuff that I don't even need to know about, and that's who I want to be about.
Yep.
When I went to QVC, Nick Chavez, who was he's been at QVC for over 17, 18 years. And he has all these new celebrity hairdressers. All these new celebrity hairdressers who's a hot Instagram thing come in to sell product, and they're in and out, because their products don't do what Nick's consistently been there for 17 years.
Wow.
So I always talked to him, and we were a little bit weird towards each other at first, because I think he was kind of thinking, oh, here's this young guy, coming in like but I didn't. I always acted cool with him. And first chance I had to go take him to lunch, I was like, dude, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, nothing. I got the day off. I was like, let's go eat lunch. We went to lunch. I picked his brain I couldn't wait. I wanted to sit there. And at the end of it, he said, man, you got what it takes, because you listen, you're willing to take advice. He said, I wouldn't give this advice to anybody that comes through here. It's like, sweet, man. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool, man. Everybody be sure to follow Bradley Tuggle on Instagram. Send him a friend request on Facebook that he won't accept. And, if you're local, check out his salon. It's James Bradley Salon.
James Bradley Salon.
Yeah.
It's right off Wendover Avenue behind near the Gold's Gym Shopping Center.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. See you guys.
Good times, man.
Have a good
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.